the answering machine. I was helping my dad clean out my grandparents' old house after my grandfather passed away. The place hadn't been lived in for years, not since my grandma died. It sat on the edge of town, surrounded by tall grass and rustling trees. It was the kind of house that always felt like it was holding its breath. The inside smelled like old books and dust. There were doilies on every surface, faded wallpaper, and a rotary phone still mounted in the hallway. It didn't even have a dial tone. As we boxed up photos and knickknacks, I found an old answering machine tucked in a kitchen drawer. It was the kind you'd plug into the wall with little cassette tapes inside. "Throw it out," my dad said. "It hasn't worked since the 1980s. But I was curious. I took it home, plugged it into an adapter. It powered on, and it had one message. I hit play. The timestamp was recent. It started with static, then a voice. "Do you still see him? He's been waiting. He's closer now. Don't look out the window." That was it. I laughed nervously and rewound it. Listened again, same message. The thing was, the voice sounded like my grandmother's soft, shaky, unmistakable voice. But my grandmother died in 2006. That night, I left the machine on the kitchen table and tried to sleep. Around 3 a.m., I woke up. Something felt wrong. There was a light on in the kitchen. When I walked in, the answering machine was on. Blinking. New message. "He's in the hall now. Don't turn around." I froze, didn't move. I could hear breathing behind me, slow, steady, wet. Something cold touched the back of my neck. When I spun around, there was nothing there. But the hallway light was off now, and the answering machine's tape had ejected itself, lying on the floor. The next morning, my dad called. He said he'd had a dream about Grandma the night before. She was standing in the hallway pointing at something he couldn't see. Said her mouth was moving, but he couldn't hear any sound. It creeped me out, but I didn't tell him what happened. Didn't mention the message. The machine went into the trash that day. Only 2 nights later, it was back on my kitchen table, with a new tape inside, and written on the label in faded ink were the words, "Last Warning." I played it. This time, there was a long silence, then a low hum. Then her voice again. "You let him in. He's part of the house now." Since then, things have changed. Mirrors fog up on their own. I wake up to muddy footprints in the hallway. The door to the attic, nailed shut for decades, swings open on its own. I don't sleep well anymore, and I don't feel alone in the house. Ever. And sometimes when everything's quiet, I hear the phone ring. Not the cell, not the landline, the old rotary in the hallway. But when I answer, it's always the same. He's still waiting.